तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 71, verse number 26. So Sri Sukadeva Goswami is describing the arrival of Sri Krishna in Hastinapur and how he was received by King Yudhishthira and his brothers, and he came to participate in the Rajasuya Yajna on the advice of Uddhava, an invitation which was given by Sri Narada. So we read how he came with his family members surrounded by an army. So he met Yudhishthira Maharaj. So it describes here, Dorbhyam parisvajya ramam alayam mukunda gatram nirpatir hatashubha lebhe param nirvritim asrulochano rishyattanur vishmita loka vibhramaha. So Sri Krishna is called here as Rama, Amala Aile, that is the pure abode of Lakshmi Devi. Because Lakshmi always resides on the chest of Bhagavan, and it's the only abode of Lakshmi. So the same abode of Lakshmi, which is Sri Krishna's chest, was embraced by King Nripati Hatashubha. King Yudhishthira, he embraced Krishna with his both arms. Mukunda Gatram, the body of Sri Krishna. And this removed all inauspiciousness, or he was already pure, Hatashubha, Nripati. Lebhe param nirvritim ashrulochano hrishyattanur vismrita loka vibhrama. And by this embrace, he attained great happiness. So Nivritta. And there were tears in his eyes. His body was blissful, Hrishattanu, and he was so happy that he forgot what is the proper procedure to receive Krishna. So therefore it says Vismrita Loka Vibhrama. So whatever is the lokachar to receive him, then he forgot that. So this is what happens when there is intense love. Then the normal protocols may be forgotten or transgressed, because in love they do not care for the procedure. So therefore it is said that Vismrita Loka Vibhrama. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments. So Ramaya Swabhaya Amalam Nirdosham Alayam. So he says, he is translating the word Rama as Shobha or beauty. Means Krishna's body was supremely beautiful. Vismrita Loka Vibhramo Laukika Vilaso Yenasa. So whatever is the Laukik Vilas, Laukik activities, Lokachar, the protocol to receive, he forgot that. Which means that he was absorbed in bliss which is beyond any Laukik experience, any material experience. Tammatuleyam parirabhya nirvrito bhimah smayan prema javakulendriyaha yamau kriti cha sruhottamam muda prabuddhavaspa parirebhirechyutam. And after him then Bhima, who is the next in seniority, so he also embraced Krishna, and he was smiling while embracing, and his eyes were very teary, prema javakula, out of love for Krishna. And then the two twins, Nakula and Sahadev, as well as Arjuna, who is the best friend of Krishna among all the Pandavas, so happily, while their voice was faltering, they also embraced Achyuta, Sri Krishna. So it shows how much happiness they were feeling, and although it is not described here how Krishna was feeling, but you can understand, because there is a mutual love between them. So Sri Krishna was also feeling equally blissful, embracing them and meeting them, as is being described about the Pandavas. And after they have all embraced, then Arjunena parishvakto yamabhyam abhivaditaha brahmanebhyo namaskritya vruddhabhyasya yatharahata. Then he embraced Arjuna, and then Nakula and Sahadev, because they are junior in age, so they respected Krishna, means they bowed down to him. So this means they probably wanted to bow down to him in the first place, but Krishna embraced them, and then they still bowed down to him. And then Brahmanebhyo namaskritya vruddhebhyo yatharata. Then Krishna himself, he bowed down to the Brahmanas and the senior Kauravas such as Bhishma. Manito maniyamasa kuru sanjay srinja kakayan sutamagada gandharva mandinascha mantrinaha. So they also respected him, and he respected back all the Kauravas, Srinjas and Kakayas. Then there were the variety of Brahmanas who were assembled there. So they all also respected, and he respected them back. The Sutas, Magadas, Gandharvas who sing and dance, Vandina who recite prayers, and Mantrana, those who entertain. This word came earlier also, Mantrana. So it is for the people who act like comedians. And Mridanga Sankha Pataha Veena Panava Gomukhaihi Brahmanas Charvindaksham Tuštavurna Nritur Jago. Then Brahmanas, they also satisfied Krishna because they were singing and reciting various prayers. And then all these Gandharvas and Upmantrana, they were all dancing in Ritu. And Jagu, they also sang. And in this way, they pleased Krishna, felt very satisfied. And they were also playing musical instrument, the drums, conch, and veena, other instruments as Pranava and Gomukha. Evam Sruhidbhi Pariyastha Punya Shloka Shikhamani Sanstuyamano Bhagavan Viveshalankritam Puram. So in this way, when he was received by all these people, then he entered into the city of Indraprastha, being accompanied by the Pandavas. He is called here as Punya Shloka Sikhamani. So Punya Shloka is a special word which is used sometimes for King Yudhishthira, Nal Maharaj. They are all called Punya Shloka. So Krishna is called here as the chief of the Punya Shlokas. Yudhishthira is also counted as one of the Punya Shloka. Punya Shloka literally means whose fame is pious, or who has pious fame. So being praised, Bhagavan Krishna, he entered into the city, and he was nicely decorated, they garlanded him. There is no commentary on these slokas. Sansikta Vartama Karinam Madagandhatoyai Chitradhajai Kanakatorana Purna Kumbhaihi Mrishtatmabhir Navadukula Vibhushana Sargandhair Nirbhri Yutibhischa Virajamanam. So this is describing how he is entering into the city and how the city was prepared to receive him. So it says Sansikta Vartama Karinam Madagandhata. So there is a special type of liquid which oozes out from the temples of young elephants, and this is very fragrant. It is described that the bees also hover around the elephant because of that. So this liquid is taken and mixed with water and it is spread on the streets. It is used as a fragrance liquid. So that's why it says samsikta vartma karinam madagandhata. This is called madajala, or the water coming out, liquid coming out from the temples. So the path was sprinkled with this. And then there were colorful flags, there were gates made, like sometimes you make different decorative gates for the marriage parties, if you have seen. So this is the Torana, Kanaka Torana, Purna Kumbhai, and there were pots full of water kept, which are considered as auspicious. You put coconut and some mango leaves on top of that. So these were all placed on the way to receive him. And there were people, Yuti Bhischa Virajmana, young people, Nribhi, Yuti Bhi, men and women who were all dressed very nicely, Mrishtat Bhir Navadukula Vibhushana Shraggandhai. So they all had new cloths, garlands, ornaments, so they were all decorated. And they all received him on the way because everybody was eager to see him. So Puram Varnayati, Sukadeva Goswami is describing the city. Samsikta iti dvayena, in two slokas he described the city. Karinam madagandhatoyai samsiktani vartmani yasmin tat. So the paths were sprinkled with the water which was mixed with the liquid coming out from the elephants. Chitra dhvajadibhir virajamanam, and there were multicolored flags, etc. decorated. The city was decorated nicely. Uddipta deepa balibhi pratisad majala Niryat dhūpa ruchuram vilasat patakam Murdhanya hem kalsairaj toru shingai Justam dadarsa bhavnai kururaj dhama. So Sri Krishna, he saw the city of King Yudhishthira, Kururaj Dhama, Dadarsha. How he saw that every house had lamps lit, Uddipta Deep Balibhi, as if they were offering this to Krishna. And from the lattices of the house, nice dhupa was coming out. They have burned the dhupa inside, Niryata dhupa ruchiram. So that was coming out. You remember how Jiva Goswami was describing in Goloka that from the houses this dhupa was coming out and the peacocks mistook it for the clouds and they were making sound. So Vilasat Patakam, and then there were patakas, these bantings, banners, which are also put around, very beautiful. And on top of the houses there were golden pots which they had put Murdhanya Hem Kalsai, and they were kept on the silver base, like sometimes you see how they put the mud pot on the tripod with 3 legs. So like that the golden pots were put on the roof to receive him, and the pots were put on the silver stand. So Rajat Uru Shringai Justam Dadarsha Bhavnai. So this is how Sri Krishna, he saw the houses in that city. So Deeptai Balibhi Puspadibhischa. So Uddipta Deeptai means there were lamps which are lit there, and then Bali, he says there are They were probably throwing flowers at him from the roof. Yasmin tat murdhani bhava murdhanya hema kalasaye shamte. So there were golden pots on top. Rajatmayani uruni sthulani sringani kalasadhasta bhumika yesam. And these pots were kept on the golden stands, which are big. Tair bhavanaischa justam kuru rajasya dhamam puram dadarsha. So he saw the city of Kuru Raja Yudhishthira Maharaj. Praptam nisamya naralochana pana patram autsukya vishlithata kesha dukula bandha sadhyo visrijya griha karma patinscha talpe drashtum yayur yuvate asmanarendra marge. So Yuvati, the young ladies, they ran to see Krishna when they heard that he has arrived. So praptam nisamya naralochana pana patram. So their eyes were like the cups to drink the beauty of Krishna. So naralochana pana patram autsukya vishlithita kesha dukula bandha. And they were so eager to see him that out of their eagerness and love for Krishna, their hair became loose and the dress also. So these are the standard description of showing, as we read earlier, how the wives of the devas, their clothes became loose. Krishna appeared in Ras Leela. So sadhyo visrijya grihe karma patinscha talpe drashtum yayu. So as soon as they heard that Krishna is arriving, then they gave up everything, whatever they were doing, and they came to see Krishna immediately. And they also gave up their husbands who were in the bed. So this is also to show the eagerness. Otherwise, how is that the husbands are not eager to see? The women are so eager to see, and we already saw that men and women, they all came to see him. But now he says patinscha talpe, that they left the husbands on the bed and they came running to see him. So it's just to show the eagerness. So yotaya syu narendra marge. So they came to the royal path. The path through which the king traveled, that is Narendra Marga. Narlochana nam panasya patavyasya rupasya patram rupanidhim ityartha. So Naralochana pana patram, this is an adjective of Krishna. Praptam Naralochana pana patram. That when Krishna arrived, and Krishna is called here as the Naralochana pana patram, that the eyes become like the pots to drink the beauty of Krishna. So therefore he is called Naralochana pana patram. This means everybody was drinking. So therefore it says panasya patavyasya rupasya patram. That what is to be drunk is the beauty, and the eyes are the cup through which you drink. So generally you drink with one cup at a time. So here you have to say drink from 2 cups. So double. Tasmin susankula idbhasya asvaratha dvipadbhi Krishnam sabharyam upalabhya grihadhirudha naryo vikirya kusmair manasopaguyya suswagatam vidadhur utsmaya vikshitena. So how they received Krishna? Suswagatam vidadhu. So they welcomed him. How did they welcome? Naryo Vikirya Kusmai Manaso. So they spread flowers for him, they threw flowers from top on him and also on the path, and they embraced him in their mind. Krishnam Sabharyam, they saw Krishna, he was along with the wives. So they climbed onto the roof of the house, and from there they are throwing flowers at Krishna and embracing him with their eyes. And they are looking with Utsma Vikshitena, with very wide eye, in very unblinking eyes. And the path, it was crowded by elephants, horses, chariots, and the infantry, because Krishna was not alone. An army was there. An army is not just always behind, but in front of him, behind, around. The streets must be quite wide, because elephants have to move. Generally, you see in the old cities, the streets are very small. But if you go to the palaces, then they have wide roads, because the elephants and the army moves. So they're planned like that. Like you go to Jagannath Puri. So the road on which the chariot moves of Lord Jagannath is very wide. Thousands of people can stand. Otherwise, if there is a small road, how the chariot will move? So here also the roads must have been quite wide for this to happen, because there is not one or two elephants, there are thousands of elephants, horses, chariots are also there. Not only Krishna's chariots, but other chariots. And then it is not only that it is Krishna's army and chariots, but Yudhishthira Maharaj, when he went to receive him, he also must have gone with an elephant, at least one in front. That's the protocol to receive, that you go with an elephant in front, nobody sits on that. And there are Brahmanas walking and chanting the Vedic mantras. That's how he is received. So big crowd, big festival. It's like Jagannath Rath Yatra. So no commentary on this. Uchu striya pathini riksha mukunda patni taraya thodupsaha kimakari mubhi yachakshasham purusham validaraha salila valoka kalaya utsava atanoti. So now the ladies talk. And what is the most important talk by the ladies? He says, look at these wives of Krishna, how fortunate they are. So they wish that they could also have a husband like Krishna. So he says, Uchu striya pathini riksha mukunda patni. Because there is no talk of men here. Men didn't speak anything. Only the ladies speak. He says the ladies, after seeing Krishna along with the wives, Mukunda Patani, Tara Yatha Udupa Saha, just like a moon surrounded by the stars. So they saw him like that. And then they said, Kimakari Amubhi. He says, what great austerities these ladies have done to have such a fortune. What is that? Yat chakshusham purusha maulir udaraha salila viloka kalya utsavam atanoti. That Krishna, he is creating a festival for the eyes, chakshusham, by his gentle smile and gracious looks, which is like a festival for the eye. Chakshusham utsavam atanoti. So he is making a festival for the eyes of people, or for the eyes of wives or anyone who sees. So that's how they speak. So Udupasaha Taradipasahita Tara Yatha Sobhamana. So he's saying just like the stars, they appear so beautiful along with the moon, like that these wives accompanied by Krishna are appearing very beautiful. And amubhi kimakari kim adbhutam punyam acharitam. So what wonderful piety, pious deeds have these women performed to attain Krishna like this. So this much they spoke, but what all they thought in their mind we don't know. They must have thought many more things. Tatra tatra upsangamya pauraha mangalpanayah chakruh saparyam krishnaya shreni mukhya hataina saha. So when this cavalcade was moving, then different people, especially the people, business people, various types of shops must have been there, like cloth merchants, goldsmiths, fruit merchants, right, grain merchants. So they all came in groups to receive Krishna, right? Like when chariot is going on, then people come and make offerings on the way from the mathas. This happens? No, I don't know, I have not seen. But here if you take a procession in Vrindavan, especially if it goes through Loi Bazaar, then the shopkeepers come and they offer garland or some gift. So this is happening here. Shreni Mukhya here means the chief of the guilds, the business group. It's called Shreni. So their heads, they came and they offered some Sapariyam Krishnaya. So they worshipped him. Hatainasa. And they were Mangal Pani. They were carrying some auspicious gifts in their hands. So wherever he was moving, at different places, different people came to receive him and give him gifts and worship him, perform arati, etc. So Shranya, ek shilpa upjivinyo janatastashu mukhya. So Shreni Mukhya is being explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that this refers to the chief of a group of business people who are in the same business. As I said, means the cloth merchants, they have their union or their group. So their head or chief, he came. Similarly other grain merchant, gold merchants, etc. Antah purjanai pritya mukundah fullalocanaihi sasambhrai abhyupeta pravishad raja mandiram. Then Krishna enters into the palace and then the ladies are there inside Antahpura, pritya mukunda fullalocanai. So he was received with blissful eyes and sasambhrai abhyupeta. So they welcomed him with great honor and sambhram, and being anxious to receive him. Pravishat Raj Mandiram. So in this way, Sri Krishna, he entered the palace Raj Mahal. Raj Mandir means Raj Mahal of Yudhishthira Maharaj, the palace of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Pritha vilokya bhratrayam Krishnam Tribhuvaneshwaram Pritatma Utthaya Paryankat Sasnusa Parisasvajay. So then Kunti Devi, who is the aunt of Sri Krishna, when she saw her nephew, who is the Lord of the three bhuvanas, three worlds, and who is Pritatma, who is very dear to her, she got up from her seat and embraced him. And along with her was also Sasnusa, Draupadi. So only one is mentioned. All the Pandavas had also more wives. Each one also had individual wife. And then she was the common wife, but only here Draupadi is mentioned. So Kunti is a great devotee and also Krishna's father's sister. So paternal aunt. So she was blissful to see Sri Krishna. Govindam grihemaniya devadeveshamadritaha pujayam navidat krityam pramoda upahato nripaha. So again Sukadeva Goswami is saying that Kunti Devi brought Sri Govinda inside, who is Devadevesha, who is the Lord of the Devas, with great respect, but she did not do any puja, although that should have been done. But he says, why is that pramoda upahata? Because she was so much submerged in happiness of seeing that she could not do any puja. Or is it king? Because it is Nripa. Yeah, it is Yudhishthira Maharaj. He forgot that now when he has come inside, should have made him sit down and do puja. That is the standard. Some great person comes, you receive him. When he comes inside, then you do the puja. So he says, Nripaha pramoda upahata pujayam na vidat krityam. So either he did not do it because he completely got lost, or he didn't do it in a proper manner, na vidat krityam. Just got completely blissed out. Pitri svashu guru strinam Krishnas chakre bhivadanam Swam cha Krishnaya Rajan Bhaginya cha Abhivanditaha. Then after that, Sri Krishna, he paid respect to her paternal aunt Kunti Devi and also to the senior ladies. There were other ladies like Satyavati, etc. So they were also, Satyavati was also living there, but I don't know if she was here or in Hastinapur, because this is Indraprastha. And Krishna's Chakra Abhivadanam. So Krishna, he greeted all of them. And then Draupadi, she greeted Krishna, Swamcha Krishnaya Rajan Abhivandita. So he was greeted or worshipped by Draupadi and also his sister Subhadra was also there. So Subhadra must have been very happy to see Krishna there. Krishnaya Draupadya. So Draupadi is also called Krishna. So Krishna is meeting Krishna. And Bhagini is Subhadra. Swasra Sanchodita Krishna Krishna Patnischa Sarvasaha Anarcha Rukmanim Satyam Bhadram Jambavatim Tatha Kalindim Mitra Vindam Cha Shabhyam Nagnajitim Satim Anyasya Bhagatayastu Vasa Shakmandanadibhi. So when they met each other and respected, after that Kunti Devi, she ordered Draupadi that she should give respect to all the wives of Krishna who had come there. So then Draupadi, she worshipped the wives of Krishna. Krishna Patnischa Sarvasha. And their names are mentioned here. Rukmani, Satyabhama, then Bhadra, Jambavati, Kalindi, Mitravinda, Shabya, Nagnajiti. So all these 8 queens were there, and others who had also come with them. So we do not know if all of them went, but at least these 8 are there. So they all were worshipped. Anyascha Bhāgavata yastu. There were other ladies also who had come there. So they were all given cloths as a gift, like you give a upper cloth, like a chadar, shawl type, and garland, and mandanadi, some ornaments also. So she gave to all of them. That's how they were received. So it is nice to see how the reception is done. Sukham nivasayamasa dharmarajo janardanam sasainyam sanugamatyam sabharyam cha navam. And then King Yudhishthira Maharaj, Dharmaraj, he made very nice arrangement for Krishna to reside with all the facility. And then he made arrangements for the army and also the ministers, followers who have all come along with Krishna, and all the wives. So all the facilities were fresh and new. Because Indraprastha, the city itself, was newly established by him. And now when he came, that they are coming, so there were big arrangements made by him. Because he was also going to do the Rajasuya sacrifice. And a lot of sages and kings will come. And when kings are coming, they don't come alone. They come at least with some army with them, people, ministers, brahmanas, their own personal cooks, barbers, right? Garland makers. So all types of people move with them, the doctors, Vaidyas, so astrologers. So they all came. So such a big arrangement has to be made to receive them. So this is what happened. So everybody got their own place. Tarpitva khandavena vannim falguna sanyutaha mochitya mayam yena ragye divya sabhakrita uvasa katachinmasan ragya priya chikirshaya viharan rathamaruhya falgunena bhatairvritaha. So now he is describing that how Krishna, he resided there and what are the activities he performed. So Krishna lived there for a few months, not just for a few days, but few months he stayed. And he also satisfied fire god who was having indigestion by feeding the herbs of the Khandava forest with the help of Arjuna. And he protected Mayadanava, who made the assembly house for the Pandavas. So this is something which was done on the earlier visit, not in this one. Because all this Mayadanu story and Krishna marrying Kalindi, remember it came earlier. When Arjuna and Krishna, they were going forest on the bank of Yamuna, they saw a girl who is performing austerity. Then Krishna sends Arjuna that find out who is she. Then they bring her back with them. So this is not on this trip. It's all past. But now they will go together because Krishna and Arjuna, they were buddies. So together they will ride on the chariot and go picnicking here and there. So that's what says Viharan Rathamaruhya Falgunena Bhataivrata. That Krishna will go for picnic with Arjuna in the chariot, being surrounded by some servants, Bhataivrata. And in this way he spent few months there for the pleasure of Yudhishthira Maharaj. Yena divya sabha krita tam mayam mochitva uvasa. So Krishna, Mayadana, who made the divine assembly house for the Pandavas because he was protected from the fire. Tarpitva ityadi shlok dvayena अष्टपंचाशतम अध्याय प्रोक्तम कथा पुनरत्र आवेशादेव अनुकथिता. So the commentator Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that what is being described in these two slokas is actually what happened earlier, which was already described in the 58th chapter of 10th canto. But Sukadeva Goswami is so much absorbed in describing that he forgot the order. So he is mixing and also repeating what has been said. Tatascha ayam krama. So therefore the order of the story or the storyline is as follows. So Indraprasthe Khandav Daha. So Indraprastha, burning of the Khandava forest, because Agni has approached Krishna and Arjuna when they were hunting, that he please help me to eat this forest. Because every time he wanted to eat it, which means burn it, eating means burning, right? Take into the stomach and digest. So then Indra will come and bring rain, and the fire will be put off. So therefore they have to protect. And then when he did that, then Gandivadi Prapti, then it is the fire god who gave Arjuna the Gandiva bow. It's famous. Then Mrigya Kalindi Prapti. And then another time they went for hunting, then they met Kalindi. So that's the story we read. And Varsik Chaturmas Vasa. And then Krishna lived 4 months of Chaturmas. Tato Dwarka Gamana Kalindi Bhadradi Vivaha. Then Krishna went to Dwarka and he married Kalindi there and Bhadra. Then killing of Narkasura, Narakavadadi Bahukathantaeva. So all those stories already happened. And then only Rajasuya sacrifice happened. So Rajasuya sacrifice happened much later. In the meantime, Arjuna was also married to Subhadra because he has to go out for 12 years in forest. So it is much later. But here it all got mixed up. Iti sarartha darshinyam harshinyam bhakta chetasam atraika saptitamo dasmo jani sangataha. So there ends the commentary Sarartha Darshini on the 71st chapter of 10th canto. Excuse bless to the devotees. And then we come to chapter 72. If there is any question on 71 chapter, otherwise we move to the next one. So this chapter describes the Rajasuya sacrifice. Sri Shuka Uvacha Ekadatu Sabha Madhye Asthito Munibhirvritaha Brahmanai Kshatriyai Vaishyai Bhratribhisya Yudhishthiraha Acharyai Kula Vriddhaischa Gyati Sambandhi Bandhavaihi Shinvatam Chaitesham Abhashyadidam Avachaha. So now he is describing when Krishna is already spending time there. So one day they were all sitting in the assembly and Yudhishthira Maharaj who is surrounded by sages, brahmanas, kshatriyas and vaishyas. So vaishyas were also allowed to be part. And the four brothers, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakul, Sahadev, they were all sitting there. The teachers were also there. Kuluvriddhai, the family, senior family members, Jnati, Sambandhi, Bandhavai, relatives, friends. So everybody in the big assembly. So while they were listening, then Yudhishthira Maharaj spoke as follows: Ete Shama Bhashyat Idam Uvacha. And he is speaking to Krishna. So that's what he said. So Sri Vishwanath comments, Dvi Sapti Tame Rajñah Karye Datta Swasammatihi Bhimena Aghatayat Krishno Maghadam Prarthya Mantrataha. So in this 72 chapter, there is a description how Yudhishthira Maharaj asks Krishna that he wants to perform this Rajasuya Yajna, and Sri Krishna gives his anumati, his permission to do that. And then it also describes how Krishna got Jarasandha killed through Bhima when they had gone there, as was advised by Uddhava. Asamyaktaya sthita shrunvatam iti anadara sasti. So Abhashya means he spoke to them, all of them were listening, and he says that Shrunvatam, there is Sasti Bhakti in this. So this is, says in anadara, disregard of everyone else, only focusing on Krishna. So Yudhishthira Uvacha, Sri Yudhishthira said, so these are his words to Sri Krishna. Kraturajena Govinda Rajasuyena Pavanihi Yakshe Vibhuti Bhirbhavata Tatsampadayana Prabhu. So all this time he had not expressed his wish, but now he is expressing that to Krishna. He says that, O Govinda, I want to worship your vibhutis. Vibhutir pavani bhavatah yakshe rajasuyena. That I want to perform the Rajasuya Yajna, and then through the Rajasuya Yajna I want to worship your vibhutis. And you please approve of that and accomplish this act for us. So vibhutiriti devadinam api tvad vibhuti buddhya eva yakshe ityadi. So the meaning is that here in the Rajasuya Yajna there will be worship of the devas such as Indra, Agni, Vayu, all this. So these are all vibhutis of Krishna. That means he's not just worshipping them as supreme, but as vibhuti of Krishna. So in Bhakti Sandarbha Jiva Goswami discusses that how a Vaishnava or a devotee of Krishna worships other devatas. So he says either he worships them as his vibhuti or as his adhisthana, that he is situated in them, or as devotees of Krishna. So that is in the story of that Brahmana who was caught by the village chief and told to worship Shiva. So there he describes that. So therefore he says, Devadi nam api tvad vibhuti buddhya eva yakshe. So it is to show that we do not disrespect devatas, but they are seen as vibhuti of Krishna. So Harireva Sada Aradhya, Bhagwan Haririshwara, Anya Brahmarudraya Navagya Kadachana. That although Hari, Lord Krishna, Vishnu, is the only Aradhya, worshipable, but other Brahma, Rudra, Indra, etc., they should not be disrespected. And they are also given respect as limbs or vibhutis of Bhagavan. So, Bharatavat swasya tad ananya paratvam dyotitam. By this he has indicated that like King Bharat, he is one-pointed devotee of Krishna and not of anyone else. Pavani tvam alokya atmanah pavayanti iti. So these vibhutis are called Pavani. Pavani means those which purify. So here he gives another meaning, that they get purified by seeing you. Means the devas, they will come and they will also have darshan of Krishna, and then they will become purified. Generally Pavani means which purifies you. So Punati iti Pavani, but they get purified, or they purify their own Atma. Tad darsanya tapi kritarthi kartum iti bhava tad yajnam. So he says that the meaning is that by your darshan, by inviting all these devas, because in this yajna they will all be invited, so they will also become blessed by your darshan, by your presence. And that's why I want to do this puja, this worship. So I think we'll stop here. Continue tomorrow.
In the last verse, number 3, in the commentary, I heard Tat, so Bharatavat svasya Tat Ananya Paratvam Yotitam. Could it also be Ananta instead of Ananya?
Ananta?
Yeah.
What would be the meaning?
Well, that he is exceedingly dedicated.
Ananta? No.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense.
Good, because that's the reading I see here.
Ananya Paratva.
Thank you. And then I was wondering, this Magadha. Magadha. So Magadha seems to be a name of Jarasandha, but also a class of Brahmanas, right? Just like the Vandinas. And
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any relation between these two? Or are these just...
Jarasandha's country was known as Magadha. So remember that Tadhet Pratyaya?
Yes.
An Pratyaya is applied.
Yeah.
That the Rajanya or king or people of Magadha are also called Magadha. The king of Magadha is also called Magadha.
And then these types of, and then this class of Brahmanas, do you know
Maybe they
how this
originally
works?
came from there. I don't know. Sut Magadha,
Magadha, Bandina.
Bandi,
Always
3
come
types. They always come together. Sut Magadha, Bandi.
Mohinji's question is there. I have a question from previous class. Why Krishna has to personally be present to kill Jarasandha through Bhima? Because Krishna is also creating and destroying through Brahma and Shiva without being personally present. What is the difference between the two?
Krishna is also creating
And destroying through Brahma and Shiva, what is the difference between the two?
because Bhima and Arjuna, they are greater devotees. So they have so much intimate love that Krishna wanted to be with them. The others are not as intimate as these two are. That's why Krishna is driving chariot of Arjuna. So when love is there, then there is intimacy. When intimacy is there, then there is also anxiety. So he did not want to send Bhima alone. What can happen? He knows Jarasandha because he fought with him 17 times. So he accompanied him. That's why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said that he got killed. Bhimena aghatayat Krishno magadam. Nich pratyaya. That Krishna got killed Jarasandha through Bhima. Or in other words, actually it is Krishna who killed. Really the meaning will be that Krishna killed Jarasandha through Bhima. Krishna magadam aghatayat. Bhimena. Okay.